guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about one of my favorite annuals, Truffula Pink Gomphrena. It has been one of the best performers in our garden, both in the landscape and in containers. My first experience with it, we planted a bunch of them in the ground right by our front entryway, and it quickly turned into one of the most striking, bold, vivid displays of pink I've about ever planted. We've also used it in our brick raised bed area, along with plain the blue salvia, Angelonia cascade white, which the blue, white, and pink blend is so pretty. And then there are 3 firelight hydrangeas in the center of that whole display, and that's my favorite combination in that area to date. And then we also put it up in our formal garden behind a boxwood hedge paired with denim and lace Russian sage and Superbena sparkling amethyst. I have learned since the first year I grew this plant to give it room. You don't need a lot of these to make an incredible display of color. One plant will grow over 2 feet tall and wide, maybe even a tiny bit bigger given favorable conditions. They like full sun. They can even take a drier condition once they've established themselves a little bit. So if you have really tough areas of the garden where they're hard to reach with the hose, or they don't get watered maybe quite as consistently as the rest of your garden, this plant can handle that. And they do attract bees and butterflies like crazy. I think one of the things I appreciate about this plant the most is that it blooms for you from the moment you plant it all the way through a hard frost, and there's never a lull. There are always blooms on this plant, and they're always loaded. And the look of the older blooms, even when they start to fade a little bit, they still have a very nice presence on the plant. You don't even notice they're there. And this plant will just continue to produce new blooms so that you're always seeing these bright pink flowers, and there's just no maintenance involved, which is just an amazing thing. I also love that they're an amazing cut flower. Their vase life is pretty much indefinite. In fact, they'll eventually just kind of dry, and you can pull them out and use them in a dried flower arrangement if you want to. Their color will lighten just a little bit, but not much. They maintain a lot of their color. I made an entire wreath out of Truffula Pink one year. It was 2 years ago, and I still have that wreath, and it still looks just about as good as the day I made it. So anyway, this is just a plant I love to incorporate in our landscape every year because you don't need very many of them to create an amazing display. They don't require much maintenance, and they just give so much in return.
Visit your local The Gardens at Elders or Elders Ace Hardware locations for all of your Proven Winners plant needs.